Hey everybody, welcome back to Ogre Speed Shop. So we're going to get into doing some repairs on the GMC body that's going to be going on the C30 for the K3500 conversion. So, because I'm doing, like I said, you know, if you've been watching for a while, you know I'm doing a conversion from a C30 to a K30. And I'm also getting rid of the Chevy body, put a GMC body on it. So, on that note, if you could help me out with the channel, because it really does help the channel, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And let's go ahead and get into the video. I don't know how much of this I'm going to film, but I'm going to see if I can fix this door. And the problem was, you see how the hinge right here area broke free. So I don't know what happened there, but you can see it's got damage down here too. So I want to fix this door rather than using the purple door. That way I keep it all original and try to keep that original patina, because I got this purple door on there right now that works. But if I can fix this one, I'd rather have that one on there because it matches the rest of the truck. I don't have to do any extra body work, especially like, I don't want to keep that door purple for sure. But if I do color, I have to do either try to match patina or paint the whole thing. So for now, my wife likes this the way it looks. So if I can get to work the way it works, or the way it looks now, then we will. But I'm gonna take everything out of it first. So we gotta take the wing window out. There's 3 screws right here, 1, 2, and 3. That releases it from here. Then there's these ones down here, those 2 right there, and that releases the whole thing and it should come out. That removes the track for the window, which gives you room to remove the window. So I might film some of that so you can all see that, but for the most part it's kind of hard to record it, but I'll try. Okay, so I have these 2 screws out and these 3 screws out. That should just tip out, if I remember right. Unless, I can't remember the one on top. Let me look real quick on top. There's one up here. No, there's not. So this should just tip out. And you might call me a liar here. Yep, just like that. You should be able to pull it, get it out just by maneuvering it a little bit here. Try not to break it. The glass is in the way at this point. It might be. I haven't the glass out yet, but let me remove the screws for that. What happened to the screws I just took out there? Did I put them in there already? Maybe. Yeah, they're in there. Maybe if I remove the regulator here, it'll loosen it up enough. This is a very uncomfortable position, by the way. I remember it being as bad when I was younger. All right. Yeah, it's the windows. Move the other track out. Okay, so this is the lower track, or the other track for this. There's a screw here, and these 2 screws here. Ooh, that sounded great. There's that. And these 2 here. This will drop the back track completely out, so this glass should be able to slide that way. It's off the track now, so it should come right out. There we go. There's a space right here, a gap or an area. Get it stuck on other things. Slide it out through this little cutout area. There it goes. Oh my God, dang. See, that was what's catching. That's the actual, what holds it in there. All right, so we got that out. And the window glass should come out right now too, because it's off the track at least. There it goes. And this thing, I don't even know what it goes to. It's been in my way for like a week. Every time I move it somewhere else, I trip over it there too. There's that window. window regulator. Should be able to come out of this hole here. And there's the window regulator. Very simple engineering. The other window track. These all need new felts anyway. Be good to get it all out of there. So I got the windows out, and I can get this stupid mirror off. It's been flopping around on there since I got it. But yeah, that's all there is to taking it out. Just got to make sure you got basically release everything, and then it should just slide right out, which it pretty much did. Just got to maneuver it back and forth and into the right spots. So I started working on this hinge area here, and hammered it back in, got it flat. Then I welded up the cracks. So I got to grind it down now to get it flat. This corner was completely ripped out in here too, so hopefully that'll hold, you know, going hope for it, because I mean that's really thin metal. If it doesn't hold, then I can cut it out and put some 16 gauge in there to strengthen it up some. But yeah, we'll go from there and see what happens. So that's that part. Now this is going to be the worst part, because you see how the skin has like been ripped off. So we got to pull that out, pound that in, move this around. It's even dented right there. So there's a bunch of work we got to do on that, but the hinge is a big thing. If you can't mount it on there, you can't have it. So, you know, I don't know what I do with the hinge, but yeah. So this hinge will go, is that right? Probably not. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, like that. So once I get it ground down and smoothened out and flattened, we'll bolt that back on and see how it holds up. We'll yank on it, pull on it, and see how it does. All right, so I got that ground down to where it's flat now. So we can get this hinge here. Not that one. Why do I keep losing the hinge? Oh, on the floor. So now we can put this right there, and we'll cinch it down, make sure it stays. And start pulling on it and see if it'll stay, basically. Definitely helps to put it on the right way. All right, that doesn't want to start, so let me pull it off and see if there's a reason for that. Let me get my, I don't know, I got this tool on. Let me get my thread chase tool. As soon as I figure out what the size they are. They are 3/8. What did I do with the stupid bolts I just had? And I am just losing it today. 3/8 fine thread. Let me get the thread chase tool to go in there. Right. What's up with that? That's a little tight, but it started in really easily, so it should have just gone right in. I don't want to go too far because I'm going to get stuck. It doesn't really get stuck, but it'll you have to align it from the inside that way. Okay, good there. You can use a tap to do this. I like the thread chase tools better because when you use a tap, it can recut threads. So it can, you know, instead of just cleaning up the threads, you can cut new ones. So you gotta be careful with that. These won't cut new threads. These will just clean up what's there. Oops. Got the nut style too, so I can check the bolt to make sure it's good. Oh yeah, that goes on without even using a tool. So hopefully cleaning those threads up will allow me to put this in there now. There it goes. That easy. Check the threads on the rest of these. What you doing, Rock? Here, buddy. Good there. Let me say hi to everybody. There's my boy. Here's my Rocky Doodle. Come here. Oh. There he is. He's a scaredy cat of the family. I don't know why he's scared right now. It's just a little bit of wind. But he hates thunderstorms. He hates hunting season. You know, being a hunting dog, you think he wouldn't mind hunting season, but he's never hunted a day in his life. So, except for gophers and skunks. Decided to chase after a skunk one time about a year ago, and yeah, that was fun cleaning that mess up. almost had another incident, not with him, but with Little Bit. Here about maybe a week ago. Letting her out to go to the bathroom at night. And there was a skunk right by the front door. She went right after it, nosed the tail of that skunk, and man, I thought for sure she was going to get sprayed, but she didn't. Looked like a young skunk, so I don't know, maybe he wasn't quite ready to spray. I don't know, but it was. Thankfully, she didn't get sprayed. I'm using the hand tools right now because I don't want to spook rock with the impact. Using a little one. I need the longer one if I'm going to use it by hand. Get this tight. Did I even bring it? I thought I was going to bring it, but I didn't. Of course, this will be needing adjustment once I put it back in the truck, but right now I'm just trying to get it to where it doesn't rip back out of the door. I think it'd take quite a bit to actually rip it out. That's why I think this damage here is probably what caused that to rip out. Like whatever hit that is what did the damage, I'm assuming. And this still needs to go back in. There's a little ding right there, and right here it's pushed out a little bit, so we gotta do some hammering on that. And I'm not sure about how we're gonna get this bottom piece to come back out this way, but maybe if I start working this crease right here back out this way, or back in this way, it'll push everything out to where it's supposed to. But I don't know, this was definitely pushed back, so I might have to put it on the truck. But I definitely gotta fold this seam back so the skin can be put back where it needs to go. But that ain't gonna go nowhere, that'll work. And you ain't gonna be able to see most of it. I just kind of rounded off the edges with the band file to kind of keep that corner there welded up so it's not thinner. So a nice little thick bead on that. That should work. So you just gotta work on the rest of this. Then we can use the original door, which is what I wanna do. So we're gonna take this out and start working this area here. Okay, so what I'm working on now is I bent this back up so it wasn't bent up and over. So I bent it back down, I should say. So now I gotta bring it, I'm using this little pry bar here to fold the lip up, you know, open it up so we can get this. I think we have to actually pull this part this way. So I'm going to get a slide hammer out and start popping it this way, see if we can get it to move. So yeah, I think this whole bottom from about here down needs to come all the way out. But can't come all the way out if the lip isn't bent up a little bit. So that's what I'm working right now, just using this little pry bar to open up that pinch weld there. Or not pinch weld, but this is kind of a pinch weld. It's the outer lip of the door skin. So it has a place to go. And I can close it back up once we get it in position of where it needs to go. So that's what I'm working on, just going through here and bending this lip up so we can bring this piece back underneath it. And I'm not going to bore you with that because that's going to take a little while. I think definitely got hit pretty good. So I noticed right here now, there's a ding right on the back side right there. And look at that crack there. So I got to figure out what's that supposed to look like. And I look at the other door. If that's supposed to be flat or what's going on with that. So if that's supposed to be flat, will that bring this whole thing back in? I flatten that back out, but I got to see where that's supposed to be at. And I may invest in a slide hammer, a spot weld, or a dent puller welding gun thing, and try to work that through here and pull this out, rather than just, because I've only got one spot right here I can do it. Could go old school and just use screw, but I don't know. We'll see what we can do with it to get it out. But first I gotta see what that looks like on the other door. All right, so looking at that, I don't remember which part we're looking at. I thought it was like right in this area here. If it's right in this area here, then it's definitely not good. So let's go look at that again real quick. Is it below the hinge? Oh yeah, it's definitely below the hinge. So that's supposed to be flat, completely flat right there. That's gonna be a fun repair. Probably won't be too bad. It's good. Do some hammering. The rest of the door, it's weird because the rest of the door isn't all that bad. There's that ding right where that's at, but so if we push this down on this side to flatten it out, this side on this side to flatten out, will that bring this at all this way? Is this going to make it worse? So I guess we'll find out. All right, so this definitely has to be flattened out. So I'm not sure where all the ding or all the, yeah, I don't know. But we'll flatten that out, get it square, and go from there. But I'm not going to film that because it's just going to be hammering on it and hopefully getting it spread out. All right, so I got that mostly flattened back out. I got to do some more work on the inside here, but that's going to be kind of tough because it's going to be easier to do from the inside, but you can't get to the inside of these things. So this door doesn't have speaker holes like my other one does. But anyways, got that lump down at least. There's some more cracking right there I got to repair. Right now I'm going to try to put a slide hammer on here and see if I can pull this out a little bit. I don't know if it's going to work. In fact, I really doubt it will, but you never know. So I'll go ahead and film that so you guys can see the catastrophe that's about to unveil. All right, let's see if the slide hammer doesn't get. It's only a 2-pounder. I do have bigger ones. We'll see if we need it. But I'm putting my earmuffs on. So I suggest you turn down your volume or put your earmuffs on. Safety glasses too. So I really think we need to get lower down in here, but we'll see if this works or not. Yeah, pretty much like I thought. It's not moving at all. I mean, maybe I can brace it. You might have moved a hair, but I mean, you can see the line where it needs to be. That's almost a 1/2 inch. So I think I definitely need to get something underneath here, like down inside this area, to be able to pull that whole thing out. I wonder if I had it on the truck, or if the hinge was on it. This was on it. Let me pull it this way. Let's try that. All right, so a couple different methods I'm going to try here. I'm pulling up on this hinge. My shoe. So let me get that out first. All right, so I got a hammer. I can pound on it, see if that'll bring this front out. So it should be, when we hit on it, it should be bringing the pressure on these bolts about down here and the hinge. So hopefully that'll bring that side this way. But I think I'm going to try a wrench first. Just sticking a wrench on here and pulling up on it. And we should know right away if it's making any kind of a difference. The biggest thing is going to be trying to hold it down. So let me get some stuff cleared off here, because I might be standing on this thing to try this. Oh yeah, that'll work. Whew, nice. But to get it to stay, that's going to be the fun part. Put this over here. I'm going to try sitting on it here. Not too much weight though. Or maybe just stand on it. It's definitely pulling it out. Problem is getting it to stay out. That definitely brought it out a little bit. How do I get it to stay out? What if I strap this to the bed? And jack or something underneath here. If I can really bring it out that way. So we know putting pressure on it going up this way brings it out. So we can figure out a way of doing that. I think a strap's gonna be the best bet. Going right across here. Cool thing about this bed, it's got plenty of tie points like that, so we're gonna try that. All right, so strapping it down and pulling up on it definitely brought the gap in a lot closer. So, I don't know, I think still need to get on here somehow and pull on it or hammer on it somehow, like get a, you know, a welded rod or something in here. What are they called? Weld, spot weld, puller, whatever. In this area to bring that whole thing out. But it's definitely getting closer. That gap is about at least half of what it was before. So we're making progress at least. Well, I don't know. It might be time to invest in a porta power where I can put down inside the door here and push out on that area to try to bring it in. As long as I don't damage the other side of it, and put a 2x4 or something. So it's not just pushing on one point over there. But yeah, I might invest in a porta power. All right, so I got a porta power, and I think it's gonna help bring this door part, this area back out. And right now I got it set up. Well, I don't have it set up yet, but I think this attachment is gonna work the best to get in there and push directly on that area right there from the inside. So it's gonna get the hydraulics hooked up, put a board in there so I don't damage the other side of the door. And hopefully I can get this pushed out to where it's supposed to be. And that'll help clean it up. But looks like I gotta pull this back out again. I don't know if that, how did that shrink back on there? I have to get my little pry bar out and bring that back up around. Maybe I did that last time, I don't know. It's been a while since I actually worked on it, so we're back on this just because we were doing other things like the 4x4 conversion on this. So, but yeah, I think we're gonna try pushing that out and getting it to where it's supposed to be. All right, see how this thing will work. Put the ram in there. Just go in here like this. No, that might be too long. Oh, there's a shorter one. Put this one off and grab this one. These two actually. How's that? Yeah, that'll work better. We need something for the other side. 2x4. Hopefully that'll protect that section of it. Let's get this in here. See how much space we need. I had a light somewhere here. I need something on that side. This foot here. This thing surely is a pretty cool outfit. We're using one at my old shop. It was belonged to the owner of the shop below, beside us that we shared the space with. And it always came in handy there. Okay, so the caps actually unscrew, so get the hydraulics hooked up. This is an awkward position right here, so these caps are a pain in the butt. You have to put some pressure on it going this way, but like I said, right now it's a kind of an awkward position. So let's do this. Look in there. Get it set to where I want it. Let's see, I'll bring you guys in right here. So y'all can see it. Close the valve. Start pumping. Some pressure on there. Okay, we got pressure. Make sure we're still lined up down there, and we completely moved off the thing. Right there's where I want to push. All right, I'm going to grab my pry bar and get that pried up a little bit. It's another chilly day here today. It's starting to warm up though a little bit. But there it goes. That's what I was trying to do. I think that's clear now. All right, so you guys on that area, I'll put a light over it too for you so you can see it better. So you want to watch this area, see the rust? We want to get that pushed over this way, see if it works. Oh yeah, look at that. That's exactly what I was hoping it would do. Maybe give it a few little taps with the hammer. A little bit further. Will it go anymore? So I don't want to damage the other side of it by pushing it too far out. So I got to push down here too, or maybe this, does that need to be rolled now? So if that doesn't pop all the way back out, it should be good. See what happens when I release, how far back it goes. All the way back. Oh, that sucks. Okay, we gotta keep that. And that's pushing this now. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I don't want to push this part, but that's probably good right there. Oh, I think heating it maybe will keep it to stay. Keep it to stay. Make it stay. No, I don't have a torch set yet. But this gets it hot enough. I feel like it's still gonna pop back when I release it, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do a couple tack welds on it to hold it in place. You can see where it's freaking like fitting its dent in that area. Wonder if I hammer on that area to take it back in. The little fork thing is pushing that whole thing out. I wanted to get it just on that bottom part there, but it wants to push this whole area up here out. Oh, hey, look at that. Stayed pretty good that time. Once I get this area to stay here, I'll probably go back in here. And there's an area right underneath there. I don't know if you can see it on the video or not. It's been getting pushed out by a little fork thing. So I'm gonna get that, you know, pushed back in or just hammered back in. I don't think it's gonna matter because it's behind the hinge, but kind of like the way it's shaped, but nobody will notice it there. But I think that area is gonna stay now. I moved a little bit, but we're good on that. Now we need to move this area here. And I don't think it needs to be rolled up into it. I can try it real quick just to see if that area will get rolled in. I just had a hammer. There it is. Yeah, we're definitely going to take a bunch of this playing around and whatnot. Definitely have to push out on this area here to bring that out as well. But so far, it's definitely working. We definitely got a lot closer over here. All right, so we definitely got her looking a little bit better out on this side here. Still working on this side here. Trying to bring it around. But it was denting. I got to find a better way of flattening that out and spreading the load a little bit to bring it out. And then do some tapping on it as I'm bending it. But you can see there's like a crease in that area right there. So fix that. But yeah, there's just a few little areas I gotta do some damage control on here, but overall it's still looking pretty bad. It's not looking too bad. Definitely want to reinforce this a little bit because that's the door frame or the hinge, but we'll figure something out on that as well. So there's a pretty good chance I might have let this escalate a little bit too far, but at least now I have access to repair the rest of the stuff in here. So now I see why I couldn't get to this area right here to get it to flatten out, is because, well, there's extra bracing in there. So we'll definitely be able to get to a lot more stuff. I think there's like one more spot, that little bracket right there needs to come out and the whole skin will be off. Then we can get in there, and because I didn't like the way this was coming out from me tweaking on it. See all those lumps and stuff. And now I can hammer and dolly that smooth, hopefully, you know, because this is not like what I do. But you know, I'm trying to do it. I don't know if it's a good time to start when you're 52 years old, but hey, you know, I got the body work done on that pretty good and still got a lot more to do. You know, gotta do what you can to get things done. So that's what I'm doing. So get the skin off now, and now we can get in there and work the metal a little bit easier and better. Because I was using a contour gauge here to try to get it to line up, and it wasn't even close. And it's because this is just so tweaked right in this area. So we're gonna fix it one way or another. All right, so we got this door skin off completely. As you see what the inside of it looks like. Looks like the major damage is this corner down here, which we kind of thought knew anyways, because that was the, you know, this is the side that had the ripped out hinge as well. So, yep, so right there. But, so we got some more repair to do on this door, and the skin is actually in really good shape. So we just got, you know, smoothing it out, make it look good. And if I'm sounding kind of odd, it's because it's freezing out here right now. It's like 22 degrees out, but it's a little warmer in the shop, but still, it's cold. So I'm having a little hard time talking. But anyways, so this is what we're looking at for the doors. And the inner skin looks pretty, you know, pretty good, honestly. Just got to smooth out the areas where we got it dinged up from trying to get it straightened with it on the skin, or the skin on the door. So where we're at with that. So we're just going to be doing some hammering and dollying and some patchwork, especially for this corner right here. Shouldn't be too hard though. So let's get into it. As of right now, I'm trying to work out some of these dings and dents, just hammering and dolly right now. And it's a very long, tedious process, and I'm not going to record it because nobody wants to watch that. So I did, this keyhole was kind of stretched out in a couple places. I got that straight and flattened out though. So there's just a bunch of areas that need to be worked, like right down here. That's not supposed to have a crease in it. So we have to pop this out and get that so it's flat again, or convex. Yeah, convex. So we want it arching out this way. So that whole area down here is going to need some work done to it. But I'm trying to get the skin done first. Then I'll worry about the metal repair on here and getting this thing squared away as well. Because this piece right here, that area, that corner, is definitely way higher than it should be. So we got to get that to crease and come back down and replace this corner piece. But yeah, maybe a little bit, maybe replace them over here, but it's not so bad. It's pitted pretty bad on the inside, but the outside's not. So I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Just not going to record much of it because it's just a long, tedious process, like I said, to hammer and dolly all this stuff out. But on that note, it is a lot easier with the skin off the truck or off the door. So there's that at least. And I noticed that this spring on the latch is broken, so I have to replace that, just like I did on the 70 GMC. That one's got a new one on the driver's door as well. That spring broke for the same reason. So, and everything needs lubricated, coated, cleaned up, you know, all the good stuff. So once I get most of that done, I'll come back, show you the progress. I want to show you this cool tool. It's called a contour tool, or, you know, contour gauge, whatever you want to call it. But you use it, like I'm using this on the good door, or a good door, or a better door. The Chevy door outside, the original C30 cab off of this, it's got a pretty nice door on it. But you use that to go ahead and go in here and get you a shape, so you know where the gaps are at and where you got to fix it at. So works out pretty good. So if you look, you can see, you know, I use this on the door outside, and you can see where I need to do some work at, where that gap's at. So that needs to be bent up quite a bit. But it's a nice little tool for bringing in areas that, you know, to give you an idea of where it needs to be. So the way I'm doing this, trying to get these low spots and high spots to work out. So I'm using my, I think it's called a random orbital sander, and going in there just, you know, lightly sanding it to find the low spots. Then I'm going in behind it and tapping it up through there. So basically trying to get it all to go away. This was a nice big crease in here, and it was like almost an inch wide. So we got it down to that far so far. But just want to show you a little progress I'm making. It's not much to show because, you know, like I said, this is just, I've been working on this for like 2 hours at least. And this is what I got done. You know, it's like, it's just one of those processes that takes forever. But I don't understand body guys. It's not my thing. I'd just rather do mechanics. But, you know, something new, something to do, and I'm going to try and make it better. So that's what we're doing. All right, so I think we're pretty good there now. The rest of that can be, you know, filled with body filler. This is going to be a real thin coat of it, so it ain't going to be that big of a deal. As far as the center section and the contour gauge working, so I can figure out how to do this. You can see how it's gapped like right there. That's because it's got pressure on the outsides of it. If I could figure out a way of holding this in the middle and showing you, I would. Maybe with this. So when the pressure isn't where it needs to be, like when it's actually set, the gap goes away. So we're pretty close to that. I think the rest can be done with body filler. I just got to repair that corner, that edge right there, because I cut it to relieve the pressure of it. And then we got, you know, a lot more to go, but that area right there, which was, you know, the bad area from where it was tweaked at before, trying to straighten it on the door, it's a lot better than it was. It's a lot smoother, and everything else can be taken care of with a little bit of skim coat or filler or whatever you want to call it, Bondo. So I think we're good to go on that. We'll shape it once we get some Bondo on there. We got most of the area over here pretty good as far as, you know, the rest can be just taken care of with a little Bondo. Maybe a little bit. I got to do some work up here probably. And I'm definitely filling this hole because I'm putting different mirrors on it. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So now I'm working on this bottom half right here, and you can kind of see where the dent's at. So this whole area from basically, well, it was all the way down here. I got that kind of out a little bit. But the whole way down, all the way through here, is a dent. So I got to bring that out now. So that's going to be a kind of fun one to do. I might probably incorporate some heat to help bring it out. There's a pretty good dent right there too. But I'm just sanding, hammering and dollying, and then going back over it again. If I have to, I'll put a skim coat on there, just spray some paint on there, and it'll still show me the low sides. But overall, it's looking pretty good and getting better. So I think this is the last area I got to worry about on the skin. I don't see any other real bad dents in it or feel any. Oh, there's one right there, right by the handle, but that ain't a big deal. But that's all I'm doing is kind of running my hand along it, and you can feel the dents when you get to it. Like, you can't see that one, but I can feel it. Maybe, yeah, you can, if I zoom in, this is kind of an odd angle focus for the camera, but this is the area that's the biggest one right now that we got to deal with, which shouldn't be too bad, I don't think, but you never know. But I'm going to work on that for a while, and I'll be back, and I'll show you the progress. So hammer and dolly is going to take way too long to do that. So what I did, not blind you guys, use a 2x4 and a dead blow. I put the 2x4 on this side and then hammer down on it from the inside to get that big dent out of there. So now I can work the metal a lot easier because it's actually higher now a little bit. Well, you can still see the low spots where I sanded it, like in this area here. But now I can work it easier with the hammer and dolly and get that all flattened out and straight. And then this street, we'll have to fix that little area, but you know, once we get this flattened out and smooth, then we will be done with the skin. Pretty cool. So I don't know how well this is going to come out on video. I just want to show you the gaps where it's at. I'll tell you another, I use the contour gauge again to measure off the good door. So we're going to see just how bad it is. If I can get this light to work. Did the battery die? Oh my God, I can't believe the battery just died. Give me a second. So watch your eyes for a second here. When I put the light behind there, just kind of start from this side over here, you'll be able to see how the contours, you know, halfway decent on that side. A little low right here. But just as you get further this way, you can see the gap. So that way I know exactly where I need to work it to get it to come back out. So that gap is still pretty low in most of the areas. And I have no idea if this is going to come out on video or not, but let's hope it does. So you can see where the gaps are at just by using this contour gauge. So just wanted to show you that, show you where we're at with that. Stop blinding you. But yeah, it's definitely better than it was. That thing was like half an inch deep earlier, but we'll get it all out. Well, it's definitely getting better. So we're down just to these lines now as far as the low spots go. through there, a little bit through here, that one little spot right there. That I think will take care of itself once we fold the lip back under, once we put it back on the rest of the door. And if not, we can just, once we get to that point of sanding it and doing the body work on the door, once it's all together, then we'll worry about it then. But we're definitely a lot closer. A couple little low spots left over, but like I said, this is a slow process. And I'm surprised I have the patience for it, to be honest with you. But we're getting there. So it looks like that's the only other spot left over. And it's a little bit, it's not too deep. So we got to get that one out too. And the area around the mirror, they kind of crushed it in right there on the edge. So I'm not sure what I'll do about that yet. I mean, I could fill it with some weld maybe, because I got to fill these holes anyways. But they're definitely kind of raised up there from the pressure of the being bolted to it. But we'll take care of that too. But that's really the only the last ding, dent that we got to get out that can't be taken care of with some Bondo, basically. So even that could be probably filled, but it's a little too deep for me. I'm gonna go a little bit narrower than that, or a little bit shallower than that. All right, we got that area down to a workable condition now. So I think we're good on this pretty much. Like I said, we got to fill these holes with a weld. So I want to get, this is a 1-ton truck. So I need bigger mirrors. So I definitely want West Coast mirrors or something like that. Something like it kind of was on the original, which is over on the shelf someplace. But they don't have mirrors. They're just, I got the frames, but no mirrors. But, so yeah, I think this door skin's going to be good. So we're going to leave it where it's at. Got to be careful of this area here where we got to make sure it's in the right position when we arch it and put it back on. So now we got to figure out this whole thing. What do you need to fix and repair on it, this part of it. But it's cold and it's getting late. So I think it's a good time to call it a night, go and get some dinner and warm up. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the door hardware. So these 3 screws are right here. I'll take the hinge or the striker out too, or not the striker, but the latch. That way I can get underneath there and clean everything so it's nice and, rust free, and we can coat it and be good to go. Because you see there's no real rust on it except for, that corner. But so what we're gonna do is get those things off of there. So I know I have a tendency to open up cans of worms that probably shouldn't, but if you look right here, you see how that's all cracked right there? That's the reinforcement that broke and split off originally on the old hinge that we repaired earlier. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and pull this plate off of here. It's only 3 spot welds. So I'll pull that off of there, get in here and repair that as well. All those cracks, you can see them, see that crack right there and the crack right there. And so I think we're gonna do that so we can actually repair all that and reinforce that as well. That way we don't have to worry about that hinge tearing out of there again. All right, the more I look at the damage on this, the more I realize where the problem is. If you look right here, that section right there is supposed to be flat here. So this whole area where it's got this crease and everything in it needs to go this way, needs to go in to where it's flat with the rest of this in parallel. So that's where this is cracked right here and it's a crack up here. But that crease right there isn't supposed to be there, it's supposed to be flat. So I got to figure out a way of getting this flattened out. Then this right here, this little ridge that runs like right here, that's supposed to be there. So there's a little step down there right there. But this part right here is supposed to be flat and parallel with this outside piece. So a lot to fix, but we'll get it figured out. And basically I'm just going to try heating it up and pushing on it and hammering on it and just, typical body work stuff here. So fun times. Just kind of wanted to show you my little contraption here on how I got this thing to flatten out a little bit now. Still got a lot to do, but you see a little dent right there. That's actually from us trying to push it out from the inside when we had skin on there earlier using the Porta Power, that thing. But this is a lot flatter now. And I'm just using a piece of metal on both sides to kind of clamp it together and squeeze that metal back into position where it needs to be. So I'm just working it like that, heating it up a little bit here and there. But this little kink right here is going to be kind of a pain in the butt to get out, but I'll work on it. I'm sure there's some hammer and dolly can get it out, hopefully. But yeah, it's definitely looking a lot better and getting back into shape where it's supposed to be. It's definitely not perfect yet, but you can definitely see the difference. Get a light to show you. So you see how it's starting to come in now? And this was, what, half an inch this way or more? So almost parallel. That's what we gotta try to do, is get this parallel to this on that whole area there. So I think just hammering and dolly might get the rest of it now. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm not gonna bore you with it though. I'll bring it back when I get it flattened, straightened. I'm not sure how much better I can get than that. I could probably work it a little bit more, but it's honestly gonna be covered up. I need to put a little crease in right here where this drops down a little bit more. But I think hammering and dollying it, got it somewhat parallel. I mean, it looks like it's straight up and down now. There's no more crease there. There's a little bit right there, but it's also split right there, so it's making it really hard to, you know, make it work. So I may just weld that up to strengthen it. I'll probably weld everything up around here too, just to give it more strength for that hinge, because there's a lot of weight on the hinge. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely flatter now. It's in the shape it's supposed to be in. And it's just a little rough around the edges. A little spot right there, I'll probably work a little bit more. See a little dent right there. But yeah, overall, I think we can definitely make it work. And I have to replace this piece still because it's all rusted out, but everything else looks pretty good. I wish I could get underneath this plate, but I'm not going that far. I'll blow it out and try to spray some stuff down inside there, but I don't see it happening or really doing much good without, you know, popping the spot welds off. And I don't want to, oh man. Hate leaving things unattended or undone like that, but that's a lot of extra work because you have to take these plates off and then get them lined back up where they're supposed to go. Boy, I don't know, but we got that worked out and I'm happy with it. You know, that could definitely work with a little more work on it, but other than that, I'm pretty good with that. Pretty good. Keep saying pretty good, yeah. All right, so I think I get that worked out pretty good now. It's pretty flat and straight. Now on to the next part. I thought it was just this corner piece that was bad. There's a crack right there that goes all the way down into the corner here. So that's gonna be the next thing. Yep, right there. So I'm going to have to make a new piece for all that too. As soon as I figure out what the shape of it's supposed to be like. I think it's just supposed to be straight back in. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a 90 degree right there. I'll check the other door just to be sure, but that part of the door is rusted out on that one over there too. So I'll have to see what it's supposed to look like, and then I'll cut and form and make it the way it's supposed to be. It's a new piece of metal. So I just checked the door on the 70 over there. And yeah, it's supposed to be, there's not supposed to be any kind of crease or ding or anything like that up in there, like that's sticking out. I don't know if you can see it, but so that's supposed to be 90. There's a little bit of a raise right in this area, but not like that. So definitely got to make some new pieces here, get this thing formed back around to where it's supposed to be. Just don't know how I'm going to do it yet. All right, so I think to repair this section of the door, you know, from all these little chunks that I've cut off of it, I'm going to pull the door off of that since it's coming off anyways, and use it to make a template to make that piece. I want to try to make it out of one piece, but I don't know if I'll be able to or not because I don't have that kind of tooling or talent for that matter. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get that door off of that removed, since it's it's my purple door that I got as a, you know, off of Facebook for extra parts, mainly for the fender, because I didn't have the driver's side fender. I just noticed it was, oh, that's supposed to be there. I thought it was a dent, but so yeah, so we're gonna pull that off there, get the measurements, or get a template made out of that corner on the inside. The outer skin's kind of messed up on it, but I think the inner is good. And it's at least flat, so we can get a template off of that. If that don't work, we have the GMC and we have the Chevy out back that we can get some measurements off of. So let's get her done. All right, so we got that off, and this one seems pretty wrecked too, but it's not broken. I should be able to get a shape out of it and take the hinge off of it. Be able to get a good shape out of it for the template, I hope. But yeah, this got this even worse condition than the other one. But so yeah, that's what we're doing. So the other thing I kind of want to do is I want to make this indentation on it too. So I'm gonna do something I haven't done before. I'm gonna try to make like a mold to form that shape, or a form, or whatever you want to call it, to try to make that shape and just kind of hammer it into it. So we'll see how that goes. But you know, gotta try something, right? All right, so I'm just gonna use this piece of poster board I'm gonna start out in this area here. Geez, and kind of make this area here, and then I gotta form up into this area too. I gotta remember exactly where it's at on that one, because this actually has a skin on it still. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of piece it together and figure out how I gotta do it. So there's the piece we need to make. It's not going to be that big. Like a lot of this over here doesn't need to be there. But yeah, that's about what we're looking at. Let's go try it on the other side. See what it looks like. So this needs to go something like that. Cool. It's definitely a little slightly different, but I think I just got extra material on the outside here because remember, this goes up inside the skin, whatever it's at, inside of here. So there's a 1/2 inch extra there. But it gets a good starting point at least. I just got to transfer this to metal and try to make it. All right, so we got that piece made now, and I'll link the video of how I made that. Well, not the whole piece, but the mold piece. So now we're going to get this to fit in here, which shouldn't be too hard. And I think what I'm going to do is just basically cut it to that, get that to fit in there, and I'll make a filler piece for that chunk that's missing there. Because I think that's going to be the easiest thing, trying to fold and mold and make that piece fit and all that good stuff. So I think that's what we're going to do, just get this to fit in there as is, and on the flat side, and then we'll do a filler piece to fill that area right there. I think I got to do a little bit more up here too, because there's a little rough spot right there I want to fix. And probably go through and grind all this down too, just to make sure there isn't anything more there. Because all those marks I made, I'm trying to separate, is that for me separating, or is that just the way it is? I don't remember. But anyways, we got that piece, molded, formed. So we got a little rise out of it now. Kind of cool. All right, so I think we got our piece ready to weld in. So I'm just using a magnet down here to hold it in place. But I think it'll work just fine. And I'll trim this inner piece here once I get this other piece, that filler piece made. Like I said, I'll probably do something with this here too, but that's just gonna be like a strip I can bend around, hopefully, is all it is. Check the rest of it to see if there's any other like thin spots. Fix those if I need to, but this is the major piece, this end piece right here. I still think that mold came out pretty decent for, never doing it before. But anyways, let's get this tacked on here so we can, and you can look right here, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's kind of kicking down to the corner a little bit. But once it's welded on there, I'll be able to tweak it enough, and once the skin goes back on, it'll get tweaked too. So we'll make it all work, but at least now we don't have a big rusty hole there. No, she's a little rough, but she ain't rusty anymore. So I'll clean her up. I know there's going to be some edging I need to do, and I'll take a flat disc to it and clean it up. But I'll grind these welds down. It'll look horrible. And all I got to do is make a patch panel for right there. Luckily I was able to curl some of the, what was there back up. So it should just be a nice, you know, it's a fairly flat piece that goes in there. So yeah, once we get that done, we can start concentrating on putting the skin back on and getting the door put back on there. All right, we got our ground down, cleaned up on the outside. That's what matters. So should be good to go on there. Now I'm just gonna make one little small piece right there to fill that in, and we'll be good to go. Nice. While I was in here, one of these mounts for the hinge ended up stripping out. But the way you can fix it, you see how these are square? Well, you can pop those out of there. It takes a little effort, maybe some heat, but they'll pop out of there because they're not really welded. They're just kind of pressed in there. If you take a standard 3/8 nut, and I'm just going to show you on these 1/2-inch nuts, but the width this way fits perfectly in there in the narrow side of it. You can see how it's, you know, kind of longer this way and this way. But those flats fit perfectly. Actually, I think it is square in the end. But if you just grind off the edges of these, you know, the opposite sides here, that'll press right in there and give you a perfect area to weld. So I'm just going to tack these in there. That way we got a brand new mount for the hinge. So it's pretty simple. Just real quick, that's what those square nuts look like. And they're basically just pressed in there. They're not even like welded in or nothing. Also, I mean, with the skin off, it makes it where you can repair it from the inside. But this kind of a connector, or these kind of mounts are on a lot of these older vehicles. So I know I've replaced other ones before, but I can't remember what they were. But you can still, you know, you might be able to do it from going through the window regulator hole here and whatnot. But so you might have to cut that out and re-weld it back in to do it if you don't want to take the skin off. I just happen to have the skin off on this one. So, you know, but those square nuts are replaceable with a regular nut if you want to. So I don't know about gel, but I need to figure out a way of getting my OCD to shut up. So let's clean up the bottom of this to make sure it's all good. And yeah, more rust. So this whole corner right here needs to be repaired. Still haven't made the patch piece there yet, but even that little area right down there kind of popped through when I was hitting it with a wire wheel. But at least this outside section that we made turned out really nice. So we just got to do some more metal repair in this corner right here, down to about here. But yeah, my OCD needs to shut up. Looks like a couple little spots right here too. There's a couple little holes, but those aren't super thin. But yeah, ironically, I was looking at this right here. I'm like, I wonder if that's the way it's supposed to look. So I went and looked at the other GMC out there, the doors, and those have more rust than this one does. So some of it's rusted out right around the edges here. So I got to do some rust repair on that. But hey, so I guess doing the rust repair on this is going to be good practice for doing that one and everything else I do on this truck. But anyways, so I got to make a patch panel for this. I'm going to keep going, trying to see if I can find any more. I might just see if that'll weld up because it feels solid around it. Just a couple little pinholes right there. But I'm going to hit it with the wire wheel some more to see if I can find anything else that pops out. I know, OCD, stop. But hey, what can you do? One thing I do want to add though is I don't expect to see a whole lot more like bad rust as you go up the door. The reason the bottom gets rusty is for obvious reasons. Water will get in there and sit and start rusting out. But all this stuff here is in really good shape. You know, and we fixed all the places that were broken and kind of split open. So we should be good to go for the most part on everything else. But I'm just going to clean up these rusty areas here. So when we put the skin back on, there's no rust underneath it. And so yeah, I think the rest is going to be pretty good. I mean, that's original paint on there from 1970. Pretty cool. All right, so I got the bad areas cut out now. I haven't got down to this one yet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about this because I want to keep that little ledge there because that's part of that's factory. But I cut this out bigger so I can make a new piece out of that and just extend it down. I'll probably do a template for it too. And this piece here is just going to be real easy. I just got to basically remake it and just fit it in there and weld it in. So that's what we're doing there. I'm gonna see about maybe just filling these holes with weld, and hopefully that'll take care of it. I'll grind around it some more just to be sure it's not super thin anywhere else. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna fill this with weld because it's gonna be the easiest thing to do, I think. And then form it and shape it with the grinder and, you know, die grinders and whatnot. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm not sure how well it's coming out on camera, but I think that turned out pretty good. I just fill a lot of it with weld, but got the little lip there that's supposed to be there. It doesn't go quite down as far as it did in the original, but that's fine. Nobody's gonna notice. I mean, people will have to get up in there and look at this, and they better be buying me dinner afterwards because that's getting pretty personal right there. But anyways, it's about time to start thinking about putting the skin back on there after we get it cleaned up. But yeah, we're coming. This is pretty much finished to where it needs to be, and I'm happy with it. All right, so I got these coated now. It's not really coated. It's I always use the Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer. This stuff works really good as far as like covering up rust, because the Firebird, the whole thing is painted in that stuff and it holds up well. This is 4 years now going on for most of this. So it's a good primer base, and it really protects the metal and it converts rust. So it's definitely something worth using. And I'm not sponsored by it, but hey, Rust-Oleum, if you're out there and listening, I'd love to be sponsored for this stuff because it's my favorite thing. I've probably used a car value's worth of it in my lifetime already. But anyways, so those are coated, they're drying right now. And once they get dry, we can put the skin back on and be done with the door. Let me go ahead and put the skin back on here now. So I think, yeah, I don't think there's anything else that needs to be done. Hopefully these hooks hold up with the extra weight. So I did kind of forget that this thing would probably be better off laying down on the backside because there's one piece that holds it vertically right in here. There we go. Fits around there. Fits in the new area. We're doing good. Cool. So now we gotta just basically go around and tap everything down. You know, pull it in, make sure it's tight, and tap the lips around. There's a few places that are broken, that broke off. That like right there needs to go in a little bit further. I think it just needs to be pried in there a little bit. But there's a couple areas like over here where the seam actually split, and it was because there was some rust in there. So we'll get in there and fix all that while we're at it too. But we're gonna fold it over first and then see, maybe we can just weld up the corner and then grind it down. We gotta get this one section right here to pinch in without damaging the skin. There it goes. Cool. All right, so we can start tapping that around and get her back on there. All right, so we got it started. And it's just gonna take a lot of fine tuning here to get this thing all the way down. And I'm not gonna bore you with all that, but once I get it down, you see where it peeled up right here? So I had to repair that and weld that back on, or make a new piece to go around there. I think just welding it and then reforming it should do fine. And that'll tie it into the door panel as well. So I think it might have been a little bit off right here as far as that goes, because this lip is going over the new piece that I made. But, I mean, we'll see once we get it on the truck. Probably should have taken some measurements on that just to see what the distance is between the corners. But, in fact, I'll do that here in a minute. But, yeah. Just got to do some more hammering. And we'll get this thing on there and do some repairs over here. Then we can test fit on the cab. Didn't turn out too bad. Need some adjustment, obviously, but tighten it down. It's not going to be right. All right, what the heck? Let's do this the easy way. There we go. All right, let's see if it opens. Yeah, it's stuck on there pretty good. Uh-oh. All right, so we got some adjustment to do, obviously, but the lines look good. It just doesn't open. Why doesn't it open? Okay, so that's something we got to work on. Is it locked? It's not locked, is it? Maybe it is locked. Huh. I think there's definitely something wrong with the latch here. And that's not connected right now. Okay. It's definitely because it's locked, I think. And for some reason, no latches are working. That one working, I wonder. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so I figured out why the lock is not, or why the latch isn't working right. That's internal to the door, so let's get it back off again and take a look at it. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see this or not, but get it in here. I don't know if it'll focus enough on it or not. See the latch back there? See how much distance there is between it and when the button pushes? When I push the button all the way in, it's not going in far enough to unlatch it. I'm gonna pull the latch off and see if I can bend that lever down a little bit. Just get this lever, that lever right there, bent down some so it hits the button sooner, and hopefully we'll release it. Try getting these out before by just loosening them, but they didn't want to come out, so I'm going to use the impact driver. Hopefully, they have been lubed down, so. Try a regular screwdriver here. Just tipless. Let's try to see if this will work or not. God dang. Oh. The good news is it is moving at least. Pretty sure this is how I broke the tip of it off. I was using a wrench to aid spinning it. Spinning it the other direction will help. There it goes. Well, at least a little bit. There we go. Well, that was a pain in the butt. These two are at least loose. Should come right out. That was so loose, it kind of worried me that it was broken off in the latch. But nope, it was just that loose. Okay, so what we need to do is try to figure out, oh, that's definitely bent down a little bit. I'm gonna come back when I get it all dialed in here. All right, so I figured out the problem. I don't know how long it's been a problem or why, but For whatever reason, when you push this button in, there's a stop right down there on the lever. It doesn't allow it to go in far enough. So I don't know what the difference is between this one and the one I took off of that purple door. But now, you push the button, it releases, and that spins freely the way it's supposed to. So I don't know what that latch problem is, but we got her fixed now. I'm switching out the latch or the handle. So this one had some grind marks in it anyway, so it's fine. It's the nice thing about having extra parts, is you can always reuse them on something else. So now it should release. Why it was like that originally, I don't know, but I know it opened when I first bought it because I took it off of there, but who knows? Anyway, I put the lock lever back into. I took it out for easier access. I'd show you how to do it, but basically it goes up in there, clips in, and this little clip right here holds it in place. That's all there is to it. I guess it'd be like this, but you get the point. I gotta do the lever over here too. I think I'm gonna change out this latch because it's got a broken spring. This latch here, because it doesn't spring back, and I got a spare one right there, so pull it off of that one, put it on here, that way this whole door will work. This is what I'm talking about. See the spring's broken in there? It doesn't spring back. And these aren't that expensive. I think they're like 12 bucks or 15 bucks or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, 30 at the most. But wait a minute, this spring no, the spring's all twisted up in there. So I don't like the fact that it won't latch with that spring back, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace it. I think I definitely found one of the most common issues with these trucks, because that one's broken too. So I don't know. I'm gonna make this one loosen up a little bit because the spring is bound up down inside there. So I don't know. I'll play around with it a little bit and let you know. So yeah, that spring was completely broken. I got it all out of there, so at least it's free now. It's not bound up, and the spring from the latch will actually, keep it shut for the most part. It just won't spring back the way it should. And I'm replacing it anyway, so I'm gonna have to order it. I already replaced one on the on here, and so they're available. It's not like a big deal. All right, we got her on there. Got the latch working now. She opens pretty good and closes pretty good. Still, the gap is off down here. There's a lot of adjustment to do, and this isn't even close to being done. This door's coming back off probably another 100 times. But just so you can see, it opens nicely, closes nicely. So the latch is definitely lined up. You can see how the gap is pretty good up here. And then as you go down, let me get you in a little bit better. So pretty good up here, but as you go down, it starts to get tighter. And definitely some adjustment left on the bottom. But I didn't even, do any kind of adjustment on the hinges on the inside of the door so we still got to fix that crack on the seam. But just basically wanted to get to this point where the door was able to go back on, because this hinge was completely ripped off originally. So now that that's back on there, we got the original door on, and it matches a lot better than the purple door. So gotta get a few more parts, but otherwise this thing is that much closer to being ready to go. And gotta go into the tag agency, DMV, whatever you want to call it, because the paperwork is in. So I gotta take this cab and the white cab in there to get the titles. So I officially own these trucks now, thank God. I think it's gonna finish it up for this door skin and door repair for the 1969 to 1970 GMC or C30 to K3500, whatever you want to call it, conversion. So this cab right here. So I know it's a little bit long. I've been trying to do try to do more in-depth videos, and but a lot of you are just like me and have the attention span of a gnat. So people aren't watching all the way through. So I'm trying to keep them around an hour and maybe even less. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Should I keep going for an hour? Between an hour and a half? Should I go shorter? Let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate it. So on that note, if you like it, leave me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do better, and subscribe while you're at it. Turn on your notifications too, so you know when all the other videos are coming up. And I can't talk right now. I'm trying to talk too fast because, that's just the way I am. Sorry. But other than that, for everybody who's been here this long, I really appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you all later.